outbreak of an avian flu in Sonoma County has forced a lot of poultry providers to euthanize more than 1 million chickens and ducks. But the disease hasn't been contained to just there. It was also recently found at a farm in Marin County. As John Ramos reports, this virus might be changing agriculture in the Bay Area for a long time to come.
It's officially called highly pathogenic avian flu, and it's been a disaster for the poultry industry. And as it now moves through the North Bay counties, experts aren't very optimistic about the future. Earlier this month, Sonoma County declared an agricultural disaster when 2 poultry farms had to kill their entire flocks to try to keep the deadly pathogen from spreading. And UC Davis professor Dr. Maurice Pitesky says there are very few tools to control it.
We can't vaccinate because of kind of economic and political reasons. So the only methods of control we really have are quarantine, biosecurity, and depopulation.
That depopulation has resulted in the deaths of more than 4 million birds nationwide, with the highest level of infection right here in California. And on December 28th, the latest discovery, an egg farm in Marin. The county's ag commissioner, Stephen Parnay, won't identify the location, but says there is little they can do about it.
At this point, the goal is to not have it spread more than the one site it's at. So that's the challenge.
It's a challenge because the infections are happening despite rigorous biosecurity measures to try to keep any foreign source out of the farms.
It's incredibly unnerving, and it's our producers are doing everything they possibly can, and again, sometimes you do everything right and you still become a casualty of this disease.
That's because the disease seems to be spreading from migratory birds, which can carry the virus without harming them. The slightest dropping from an infected bird that finds its way into the poultry population can be disastrous. It can even be carried on dust in the wind. Dr. Pitesky believes the only way to limit the spread is to begin locating poultry farms in areas where there aren't a lot of migratory birds passing through.
The same way you make daily predictions about weather, we can make daily predictions about the presence or absence and abundance of waterfowl next to these farms. So farmers can be prepared to understand where the risk geographically is.
Which may make it very hard for an area like the North Bay to continue as a poultry production center.
I think this is at some level an existential issue for the commercial poultry industry.
The economics may be the determining factor. The price of eggs nationally has already more than doubled since the outbreak began. And at a certain point, farmers simply won't be able to continue operating in a place where a bird flying past can be enough to put them out of business.
So here's how quickly this disease is spreading. The first detection of the avian flu in the United States was back in February of 2022. By the end of the month, last month, 16 commercial flocks have had to be euthanized in just the state of California.